gradually warming and overall pretty pleasant kind of weather coming up this week. And we're finished with the rain mostly. You might get a stray sprinkle tonight, but we're mostly finished with all that. And we don't have rain chances again almost for this entire 7-day stretch. So long stretch of the dry weather. One thing we are watching for is temperatures in the 30s tonight north of the lake. And then if you are looking ahead to tomorrow or actually Monday morning north of the lake could have a light freeze. So that would be the coldest. And then we're warming after that. Temperatures right now in the 40s, both north and south of the lake. And we've had a good bit of wind, as I was pointing out, from the north. Some gusts in the yellow numbers close to 30 miles per hour. So that breezy plus cold plus gray and overcast kind of look. Feels like temperatures mainly in the 30s to about 40. Looking back, by the way, at our rain from yesterday and today, added the two together and you can see we got less than a ½ inch, just as expected for most of our spots, although above a1/4 inch for most of our locations with that very light, steady rain that we had going yesterday. And then very early today, it kind of finished up. I was showing you that our satellite and radar has clouds, and then our radar does have a bit of rain, but we're not actually seeing that reported at most of our sites, although radar is picking up on that moisture out there, but more so off to our east, where the front is still working off to the southeast. That's where some of the slightly heavier showers are ongoing tonight. We have high pressure that will be building and then shifting off to the east. And that's about all we have happening with our weather features over the next few days. You can see how cold it is across a big chunk of the nation, like we were just hearing. For us, 40s and then eventually 30s tonight, and then 2 nights of that. Tomorrow night also looking like 30s to about 40. This evening, temperatures just hovering in the 40s, feeling a few degrees cooler though with the wind. Tonight does turn much colder than we've seen in a little bit. North of the lake near 35 or so, south of the lake about 40. So north, this would be in the frost range. However, we'll also have a bit of wind. So when you have wind, it prevents the frost from settling in. So you might have a bit of patchy frost tonight north. But again, if the wind stays up just enough, then you might not see that north or west of the lake. Here's your Sunday morning, starting off pretty cold, and then tomorrow during the day, we're warming into the 50s. Looks like a beautiful day, mostly sunny, staying cool through the afternoon, and those winds slacking off, becoming northerly up to only about maybe 8 to 15 miles per hour. And then our high temperature forecast for the next several days. Monday, we're jumping to 60. After that cold start, that's the morning, we may just scrape the freezing mark north of the lake. So heads up there for your plants and pets and people for Monday morning looking cold. Then we're jumping into the 70s at the middle and end of the week. We get a front moving in very early Friday. Probably not much rain with that. And then we're just looking cool and pleasant for Friday and Saturday. By the way, speaking of our kind of daylight, and we are seeing it get longer at this point, 3 weeks from now, don't forget we have daylight saving time change. I feel like it just happened for the November one, but we have our spring forward one coming up on Sunday, March 10th. So for example, tomorrow's sunrise is before 7 a.m. Sunset is just before 6 p.m. But on March 10th, sunrise will be at 7:15 a.m. and sunset at 7:05 p.m. So not only will that sunset jump way back in the evening and give us that extra time in the evening of sunlight, but also our days are gradually getting longer, our hours of daylight longer at this point in the year, of course, as we're heading into the spring. 7-day forecast shows that overall very quiet and pleasant forecast this week. The only thing, again, Monday, pretty cold north of the lake, and pretty cold actually tomorrow morning too, north of the lake. South of the lake, both mornings will be around 40. And then we just gently warm up, saying goodbye to that 30 kind of range or 30s range north of the lake by Wednesday morning. And then as we head toward the end of the week, there might be a stray shower with that next front, probably late Thursday night or very early Friday, but doesn't look like a high chance for rain at all. And next weekend, Friday and Saturday, at least looking great at this point.